Hello, everyone. My name is Marlon Lowe, and I am the proud principal of Mott Middle School, located in Manhattan. After my previous speaker, I'm going to be transparent with you. I feel obligated to let you know that I'm a resident of New Jersey. So I now understand why they say we need to be Jersey strong in New Jersey. Anyway, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm just proud to stand on this stage today. And I wanted to share a story about my school and my community. At this point, I've now been leading my community for 10 years. I know I look like I graduated from middle school last week. But I promise you, I've been doing this for a while, and I've been part of my community for 13 years. We've enjoyed enormous success, and we've had a great experience at my school, and I'm so proud of what we accomplished. But I feel obligated at this point to also talk about how hope can make such a difference in a community, even one experiencing great success. The story starts with my superintendent giving me a call and telling me she wants to speak. If you have any principals in the room, I already started writing my goodbye speech. Right, cleared out my desk. Uh-oh, what do you want to speak about, right? So she calls me in, and she sits me down, and for those of you who are not familiar with New York City, the way it works is we actually oftentimes share school buildings with other schools, and we're co-located. That's what it's called. So I had an elementary school in my building, and I had another school, and I was the other school in the building. So an elementary school that went to 8th grade, and I was grades 6 through 8. The superintendent made the decision that the middle school was going to be closed, and they were actually going to give me the kids and transfer them right into my community. This was a powerful moment. You've experienced so much success. You've had your kids. You had everything. And you're in a good place. Why put yourself in that position? I was in agreement that it was the right decision. I was ready for this work. I was ready for this challenge. And I was ready for this experience. But I knew some people would be susceptible to fear. And Dr. Maurer last night really resonated with me in everything he said. And I processed and I said, okay, how is my community going to take this? So we had, before I knew it, here we go. This proposal is going on. New York City is a huge entity, huge bureaucracy. So much conversation around this. And people were somewhat fearful. But several years ago, I made a decision. Rick Miller came like a knight in shining armor. His message so aligned with our beliefs and values at Mott Hall 2. And I brought it in right away. And my community brought it in right away. And what happened was when this growth proposal came, and we learned we were going to have to accept children who were below grade level, some with enormous needs, some with behavioral issues. And I want to remind you, this was front and center for us because we actually lived in the same building, right? So we saw it every day. But hope gave a framework to challenge that fear. So instead of being fearful, we were hopeful. Things like curriculum. I heard people say, well, the kids can't do it. The curriculum is too hard. It's too much. We pushed back, and the treasure hunter said, well, that's not true. If the curriculum isn't good enough for the kids, there's something wrong with the curriculum, not the children. So we have to make adjustments to the curriculum, right? They're going to be so disruptive. They're going to give us so many problems with behavior. Well, that turned out not to be true. Instead, what do we need to do to make sure we're all on the same page? We're all successful and capable of success at our school. And I stand before you today to say there's strong evidence that we are, in fact, capable of this success. I stand before you today to say that the transition was so successful. The kids today stand in our community. They're so good. Every day they look at me and they say, Mr. Lowe, we're so happy to be in your school. We're so happy to be in your community. It's been such a powerful experience. And it was all through the lens of hope. Without the hope or the belief of my team, there was no way we were going to be able to accept this change. So many schools, so many communities would have shut the doors down and said, no way. No way. We're not going to send these kids into our school after all the success we had. Just so you understand how powerful this was, the next day after it was announced there was going to be change, the press ran a story. And what they said was, they're going to transfer these kids into our school, and the parents of the successful program don't think it's a good fit. And all I remember thinking was, what if I was a kid in that school and you sent me that note, and said, no, they don't want me there. They don't want me in that school. Imagine how that would make you feel. But I'm here today to tell you my team took a very different approach. And notice I keep saying the word team, not me. And they can't be here today. Right now they're doing the work somewhere in the woods of Connecticut with a group of kids on a week-long trip. And they can't be with me, but I want to thank them publicly. My team, my teachers, my assistant principals, my guidance team. Anybody who I forgot who's going to get mad at me because I didn't say so here on this stage today. They made me so proud as a leader because those are the values and ideals we committed to. And if you don't stand by your ideals or your beliefs, who are you? You have your word and your beliefs. And you have to prove that even when the circumstances are not in your favor. We were so successful, and now we're even more successful because we've proven unequivocally that when you put kids first and you believe in children, there's light at the end of that tunnel. I think maybe the young lady who joined us to speak today, who was terrific, she said there's light at the end of the tunnel. That's what she told us before we got here. And it's so true. Just see it through. Stay true to yourself. Have hope and use it to challenge, replace, and conquer that fear. And you will experience so much success. And quite frankly, as a school leader, I'm the direct benefit of hope. Many people wouldn't imagine that I'd be here today speaking to you. I didn't know at 25 I'd be told to take over a school. But I did. I've been successful. I believed in myself. I believed in my children. My team believed in this work. And we've become a better school community for it. So my main takeaways to you, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, please remember, hope is so powerful. Yes, there's science to it. Yes, there's a personal touch to it. Yes, there's so much to it. But let's not forget what it replaces. Fear, negativity, rejection, hostility. Imagine one force, hope, being able to take that on and change lives. And I'll leave you with this. I sit down with the parents all the time, and we have meetings, particularly the parents who transferred in. And one of the things they leave the meeting with is like, I've never spoken to a school like this. Like, I don't even know what to say. I thought you were going to come in and tell me how disruptive, how difficult my student was. You know what we come in to tell them? I just see so much more. How do we get them to see it? And you know what that does? By the end of the meeting, the parent is like, I got a part here. I got to play a role here. They believe in my child, so why don't we? And I'm a strong believer in closing the achievement gap. My school has been acknowledged for doing so in New York State. Multiple times we were designated what's called a reward school. The achievement gap is one of the reasons why I get up every day. And I thank Rick Miller. I thank Ron. I thank Kim, who sends all the emails. You've made such a difference, and this framework has made such a difference for not my school, but for children. For children. And they have a life to lead, and I'm so grateful to being able to touch those lives and watch the difference my team has made. Hope is a powerful thing. Hope is a beautiful thing. Hope is something I plan to really impart in every aspect of my being in my life. And even when I go to my daughter's school, my filter is, how hopeful are these teachers? How hopeful is this school? How much do they buy into these concepts? Because we all want the best for our children. We all want the best for our scholars. So again, just remember, circumstances will not always be defined in advance for you. I had no idea, after all the years of success, that we were going to be asked to grow in the way we were. I had no idea the Department of Education of New York City, as we call it, was going to require that we made it. But think about it. We could have looked at it through the lens of, why would they give us their problems? Instead, we looked at it from the success. They must be acknowledging our success. They must be saying, well, this school is well positioned to do this work, so we need to trust them, build upon them, and encourage them so that they can continue to do this work. Hope, hope, hope. All I keep saying that in my mind is every day goes by. I don't care about the bureaucracy. I don't care about the circumstances, the limitations, the funding issues. We all go through it. The external factors that really harm this job, the stress, the late hours, right? I'm from New York City, so I spend an hour and a half on the bus every day, right? Not one day do I wake up and go, oh, God, this again. And I've seen people do that. I've seen people live that reality. But I'm grateful. I am so grateful that I get to work with these children. And I don't care who you are. Quite frankly, if you're a true educator, you like you're more disruptive. They got the personality. They're the ones that keep you on your toes, right? But pay attention to something. They're also the ones most eager to give you that fist bump in the morning. They're the ones also eager to let you know what happened this weekend. They want to hear about your journey. I think it's one of the most powerful things Rick shares and his team. They want to hear about you. Who is this person? Who is this person leading this work? That video Dr. Mauer showed with the little boy and the father looking down, right? And when the father looks up, the baby starts to smile, and how powerful that was. Think about that personal touch with our students and how much, when they're not getting it at home, the powerful stories you heard, how much of a role we as educators can play to impact and shape their lives. Add in a dash of hope and your belief in them, and I'm truly, truly of the belief that they can conquer this world. We don't need more factory workers. We don't need more people to follow the system. We need more people to think and challenge the system so we continue to grow, develop, and become a better society. My Hall 2 school has been at the forefront of this work. We will continue to be so, and I look forward to deepening my collaboration with Rick, his team, and the At Hope team, because it's been terrific. And I would be remiss if I didn't say a quick word to the individuals I've met here at this conference. Sadly, I do have to leave to go back to my principal duties shortly, so I won't be able to stay for the full week. But it is now one of my objectives to make sure I do a full week at the Masters Institute, because just even the brief conversations I've had, I've met counselors, I've met teachers, I've met people in the court system, all these different people making a difference. It has been empowering. So I thank you, and I thank this team, and I thank you for this opportunity to speak with you here today. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.